So how's it been here since Helene and all the storm damage? How'd that affect all the stormwater ponds and dry basins around here?
Well, unfortunately, the area took such a hit with the hurricane last year that most of the resources restoration has been in the upstate, north of this area. Greenville itself has been, for the most part, neglected. A lot of the stormwater damage is still here, as you can see from this debris behind you. There's a lot of these pipes that are still impacted a year later.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of hurricane season again. And what are some of the potential implications of this neglection since the last storm?
Yeah, with this being in neglect, no one's been able to touch on it. They're probably focusing on other items. This could be a potential issue for clogging, overflow. It could be result in pipe failure as the water finds different ways to be directed. And then whenever you have pipe failure in sinkholes, that becomes a much larger problem.
How do you come in and offer our assistance for issues like this?
Well, our maintenance plans make a key contribution in that we can develop detailed case histories on a much more frequent basis so that items like this are not neglected, that we're documenting, we're bringing them to light, we're adjusting, we're providing maintenance schedules, we're providing a long-term strategy.
So if someone comes to you and says, hey, what's your BMP history? We've got it ready for you.
Yeah, that's what all the educators and the regulators really rely on us as an industry over the last couple of years, in that we could provide case studies whenever they're coming fresh to a stormwater non-compliance item, and we could provide the history, the background, and the mitigation measures.
So just taking this pond as an example, what are some of the things that you see and some of the things that you would recommend to get it back in compliance?
Okay, so just a cursory look of this one. You can see the glaring issue of the debris along the storm pipe. That's got to be clear. You would want to make sure that you have a good maintenance plan in regards to your upslopes. Make sure that trees and woody vegetation are not on your critical infrastructures. You don't want to have tree roots bearing into a dam and therefore cause failure. That's what we saw in 2015 that caused a large amount of the damage in the upstate. A lot of dams are still being repaired from a storm over 10 years ago.
And obviously if the dam fails, that's a significant water failure that only exacerbates through time. As that water flows, it creates a wider channel. The next thing you know, your pond's gone, and there's a question of where did that water go, and it's probably not somewhere you want it to go.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to catch these things sooner rather than later. If you're catching a potential failure at the pond, at the source, it may be an expensive fix in the order of $10,000 or more dollars, but the critical failure, the damage that it could be, jacks up the price considerably more.
And not to mention the liability, which is of course a huge part of that price. Yeah. If you discharge water on your downstream waterway, the waters of the U.S. legislation does create a lot of opportunities for those downstream victims to claim injury.
Yeah, it's just being a good neighbor in the upstate is very critical, because your system may be uphill from another system, and if your system fails or impairs another water downstream, then you are in part the problem.
Well, Southern Hospitality certainly extends to pond ownership, and we hope that if you do have pond problems or questions or concerns, that you go to us and see if we can help.